There's a point in life when our bodies become more fragile, when every little daily detail can hide a subtle signal. After the age of 60, we often assume that major illnesses strike like lightning on a clear day, suddenly without warning. But the truth is different, much more subtle. Serious events, such as strokes, the infamous CVAs, almost always send warnings. The problem is that these warnings are short, discreet, and easy to mistake for simple clumsiness or a sign of fatigue. And it's precisely because they seem so harmless that they are so dangerous. Every year, millions of people worldwide go through this ordeal. Some wake up one morning thinking about their day as usual, and in a matter of minutes, their lives are turned upside down. The most surprising thing is that the majority of strokes occur during a very specific period, the hour after waking up. This seemingly ordinary moment, when you open your eyes, stretch, and prepare your coffee, is actually the riskiest. Why? Because our bodies transform during the night. Imagine your arteries as roads. While you sleep, these roads are less used, and traffic slows down. But at the same time, your blood becomes thicker. You don't drink for 8 hours, you lose water through respiration, and your body gradually becomes dehydrated. In the morning, upon waking, another force comes into play, cortisol, the awakening hormone, which causes blood pressure to spike suddenly. The result is more viscous blood, circulating under pressure in arteries that may be weakened by age or cholesterol. It's the perfect combination for a clot to form or a vessel to rupture. This phenomenon is known as the morning blood pressure surge. Dr. Shigeaki Hinohara, the extraordinary Japanese doctor who practiced until he was 105, constantly repeated to his patients, "Strokes don't fall from the sky. They are the culmination of silent accumulations. They are announced by signals that we refuse to see." He used to say he had seen too many lives appended simply because someone thought, "It's nothing, it'll pass." Let's take a concrete example that many will recognize.
Imagine a morning like any other.
You get out of bed, still a bit groggy. You grab your cup of coffee, but a sip spills from the corner of your lips. You grab your shirt, but your fingers feel clumsy, unable to align the buttons.
You want to write a note and suddenly a simple word escapes you.
In your mind, it's just normal. I didn't sleep well, I'm getting old, it happens. But for your brain, it might be a red alert. These small episodes have a name, TIAs, or Transient Ischemic Attacks. They are like mini-strokes. The blood supply to the brain is interrupted for a few seconds or a few minutes, then everything returns to normal. And it's precisely this return to normalcy that traps so many people. We tell ourselves, if it's better, it was nothing. In reality, a TIA is an absolute emergency signal. 1/3 of people who have one will have a major stroke within 3 months. And half of these strokes will occur within 2 days. It's a critical window where every minute counts. The routines we adopt when we wake up are often the result of unconscious habits. But after 60, these routines can become our worst enemies. Fortunately, it's easy to transform them into protective shields. Dr. Hinohara stated that longevity isn't a matter of luck, but a sum of small, thoughtful actions. The first and most common mistake is not drinking water. After 8 hours of sleep, our bodies are dehydrated. Our blood, already concentrated and more viscous, needs to be thinned. And what do? We go straight for coffee. But coffee, instead of rehydrating, accentuates dehydration by acting as a diuretic. The blood, already thick, becomes even more viscous. This simple choice, repeated every morning, significantly increases the risk of clots. The protective action, however, is simple: a large glass of water as soon as you wake up. Studies have shown that this simple habit can reduce the risk of morning strokes by almost 1/3. Think of water as the oil that lubricates an engine before it starts. For an even more beneficial effect, you can add a few drops of lemon, which helps rebalance the body's pH after the night. The second mistake is immobility. Many older people sit on the edge of the bed and wait for their bodies to wake up. But remaining motionless after a long night prevents blood from circulating properly. It's like keeping an engine idle when it needs to be lubricated. All it takes are a few simple movements. Move your ankles, make circles with your feet, and do flexions and extensions to stimulate the venous pump in your calves. Raise your arms. Stretch slowly like a cat, raising your arms above your head and lowering them. This activates circulation to the upper body. Breathe deeply. Calm abdominal inhalations and exhalations increase blood oxygenation and prepare the heart and brain for the day's effort. These are minimal movements, but they activate the muscle pump that helps blood return to the brain. The third dangerous habit is skipping breakfast. Some do it out of habit, others because they follow intermittent fasting. But after 60, the brain has fewer reserves. It depends directly on glucose to function. Depriving it of this energy puts it in difficulty, especially when it needs it most. The result: more fatigue, a higher risk of dizziness, and above all, a more favorable ground for strokes. A breakfast doesn't have to be heavy. A slice of whole wheat bread or some oatmeal for sustained energy. An egg, yogurt, or a little cheese for satiety and cell repair. An apple, a handful of berries, or a banana, rich in antioxidants and vitamins. It must exist. It is the essential fuel to start your system. The fourth mistake is to expose yourself to stress immediately. Many people turn on the television as soon as they wake up to listen to the news, open their emails, or discuss family problems. But this is the worst time. The body is already under hormonal tension. Adding psychological stress is like putting an even greater load on a fragile system. Studies show that spikes in anger or anxiety triple the risk of stroke in the hours that follow. Start your day with a moment of calm. This can be a short meditation session, a few minutes looking out the window, or simply not rushing. The important thing is to lower cortisol levels and stabilize your blood pressure before facing the day's challenges. The fifth harmful habit is prolonged inactivity after getting up. You settle into an armchair, read the newspaper, or watch television. But this static position causes blood to stagnate in the legs, like during a long flight. When repeated, this promotes the formation of clots. A simple walk of a few minutes around the house is enough to restart circulation. Go get the newspaper from the doorstep, walk around while doing small household chores, or go up and down a few stairs. These micro-activities are true guardians of your blood circulation. Morning rituals are the first line of defense, but long-term protection relies on a broader view of health. The quality of your sleep directly affects your vulnerability upon waking. Poor sleep quality doesn't allow the body to repair itself properly. The blood remains thicker, the arteries more rigid, and blood pressure doesn't drop as much as it should. Ensuring restorative sleep, 7 to 8 hours per night, is one of the keys to prevention. Using screens before bed and consuming alcohol or caffeine in the evening are factors that disrupt this repair cycle. What you eat throughout the day influences the health of your arteries. A diet rich in fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and healthy fats, oily fish, olive oil, helps control cholesterol and blood pressure. Conversely, overconsumption of salt, saturated fats, and refined sugars damages blood vessels and increases the risk of plaque formation. Regular physical activity is one of the most powerful shields against strokes. It strengthens the heart, improves blood circulation, reduces stress, and helps maintain a healthy weight. You don't need to run marathons. A daily 30-minute walk, stretching, swimming, or cycling are sufficient and highly beneficial activities. Beyond morning stress, chronic stress is a silent enemy of cardiovascular health. It keeps the body in a permanent state of alert, with high blood pressure and increased inflammation. Learning stress management techniques, such as meditation, yoga, or simply spending time in nature, is an essential prevention strategy.
Imagine à différents morning. You open your eyes. Before even putting a foot on the ground, you move your arm, your feet, your shoulder.
You sit up, drink a large glass of water prepared the night before. You take a few steps, breathe in the fresh air from the window. Then you eat a piece of fruit, some yogurt, or a slice of bread. And only after that, do you turn on the television or check your messages. This scenario, repeated every day, becomes a true invisible barrier against strokes. Dr. Hinohara insisted on this point. After 60, it's not spectacular, big decisions that save lives, but small daily actions. Strokes don't give notice, but the body always does. You just have to be attentive. An 82-year-old former music teacher recounted that one morning, while holding his violin, his hand trembled, unable to hold the bow. Instead of ignoring this sign, he went to the emergency room. Diagnosis: a TIA. Thanks to quick medical attention, he still plays today. He often says, "It was my violin that saved me." These stories remind us of a simple thing: listening to your body gives you a chance. Prevention isn't about living in fear, it's about transforming every morning into an opportunity. It's about drinking a glass of water, moving a little, nourishing your brain, and protecting your calm. Life after 60 can be long and bright. It can be full of memories to create, laughter to share, and moments with children and grandchildren. But it can also be turned upside down in an instant if you neglect these subtle signals. Every awakening is a chance.
A chance tout prolong your memory, your health, and your independence.
As Dr. Hinohara said, the greatest secret isn't to try to stay young, but to remain attentive. To listen to your body. To understand that the first hour of the morning, which seems the most ordinary, is actually the one that decides a large part of our future. Imagine a different morning. You open your eyes. Before even putting a foot on the ground, you move your hands, your feet, your shoulders. You sit up, drink a large glass of water prepared the night before. You take a few steps, breathe in the fresh air from the window. Then you eat a piece of fruit, some yogurt, or a slice of bread. And only after that, do you turn on the television or check your messages. This scenario, repeated every day, becomes a true invisible barrier against strokes. Dr. Hinohara insisted on this point. After 60, it's not spectacular, big decisions that save lives, but small daily actions. Strokes don't give notice, but the body always does. You just have to be attentive. An 82-year-old former music teacher recounted that one morning, while holding his violin, his hand trembled, unable to hold the bow. Instead of ignoring this sign, he went to the emergency room. Diagnosis: a TIA. Thanks to quick medical attention, he still plays today. He often says, "It was my violin that saved me." These stories remind us of a simple thing: listening to your body gives you a chance. Prevention isn't about living in fear, it's about transforming every morning into an opportunity. It's about drinking a glass of water, moving a little, nourishing your brain, and protecting your calm. Life after 60 can be long and bright. It can be full of memories to create, laughter to share, and moments with children and grandchildren. But it can also be turned upside down in an instant if you neglect these subtle signals. Every awakening is a chance. A chance to prolong your memory, your health, and your independence. As Dr. Hinohara said, the greatest secret isn't to try to stay young, but to remain attentive. To listen to your body. To understand that the first hour of the morning, which seems the most ordinary, is actually the one that decides a large part of our future. So tomorrow when you open your eyes, remember this: a glass of water, a few movements, a breath of calm, a bite of energy, a few steps. These invisible details are your greatest allies. Because it's not destiny that chooses for you. It's your choices, repeated every morning, that write your story.